Hi everyone, and welcome to this video. Today we will learn the inspiring life story of Viktor Frankl, a man who survived the Holocaust and taught the world the power of finding meaning in life. If you enjoy stories like this, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us keep making more amazing content for you. Now let's begin Viktor Frankl's incredible journey. Viktor Frankl was born in Vienna, Austria on March 26, 1905. He grew up in a Jewish family. His father worked for the government, and his family believed in learning, kindness, and strong moral values. From a young age, Viktor was curious about the human mind and how people think and feel. When he was in school, Viktor loved to read about science and psychology. He wanted to understand why people act in certain ways and how they find meaning in life. When he was just a teenager, he started writing letters to the famous psychologist Sigmund Freud. Freud was impressed and even published one of Viktor's essays. Viktor studied medicine at the University of Vienna. During his time there, he focused on neurology and psychiatry. He was especially interested in depression and suicide. He noticed that many young people felt hopeless, especially during difficult times, and he wanted to help them. He worked at a hospital in Vienna, helping people with mental health problems. He developed new ways to treat depression and even set up a special program for teenagers thinking about suicide. His ideas were different from others at the time. He believed that life always has meaning, even in suffering, and that finding that meaning helps people stay strong. In the 1930s, Viktor began to develop his own form of therapy. He called it logotherapy, which means therapy through meaning. He believed that humans are not only motivated by pleasure or power, but by the search for purpose. According to Viktor, when people find meaning in their lives, they can survive even the worst situations. But as Viktor continued his work, the world around him began to change. The Nazi Party was growing stronger in Germany and Austria. Anti-Jewish laws were becoming more common. Life became more dangerous for Jewish families like Viktor's. By 1942, Viktor had earned respect as a doctor and scholar. He had the chance to escape Austria and go to the United States, where he could be safe and continue his work. But he chose to stay. His parents were old, and he didn't want to leave them behind. This decision would change his life forever. Later that year, Viktor, his wife, and his parents were arrested by the Nazis. They were sent to concentration camps. Viktor was sent to Auschwitz, one of the most terrible places in history. There, he would experience great suffering, loss, and pain, but also discover deep truths about the human spirit. In 1942, Viktor Frankl and his family were taken by the Nazis and sent to concentration camps. These were terrible places where millions of people, especially Jews, were kept as prisoners during World War II. The most famous and horrible camp was called Auschwitz, and that's where Viktor was sent. When he arrived at Auschwitz, Viktor was separated from his wife and parents. He never saw them again. His mother and father were killed. His wife Tilly was taken to another camp. Viktor didn't know if she was alive or dead. He was all alone. Life in the camp was full of pain, hunger, cold, and fear. Prisoners were treated like animals. They had little food, poor clothing, and had to do hard labor every day. Many died from disease, starvation, or beatings. Viktor said it was like living in hell on earth. But even in that dark place, Viktor tried to stay strong. He used his mind and his beliefs to survive. He watched how people acted and what helped them live longer. He saw that the ones who gave up hope often died quickly. But those who found meaning, even in their suffering, had a better chance to survive. Viktor remembered something important. You cannot always control what happens to you, but you can choose how you respond to it. He believed that even in the worst suffering, a person could choose their attitude. He tried to help other prisoners by talking to them and giving them hope. He told them to think of their loved ones, to remember happy moments, or to believe that life still had a purpose. He also imagined himself giving lectures after the war, teaching people what he learned in the camps. This thought gave him strength. One day, Viktor found a tiny piece of paper and a pencil. He secretly wrote notes for a book he hoped to write if he survived. That book would later become Man's Search for Meaning, one of the most famous books in the world. After nearly 3 years in different camps, Viktor was finally freed in 1945 when the war ended. But the freedom came with sadness. His wife, Tilly, had died in another camp. His parents were also gone. He had lost almost everyone he loved. Still, Viktor chose not to give up. He had seen the worst of humanity, but he had also seen courage, kindness, and love. He believed that suffering can have meaning, and that people are stronger than they think. After the war ended in 1945, Viktor Frankl returned to Vienna, Austria. He was free, but he had lost almost everything. His wife, his parents, his brother, all had died in the concentration camps. He had no home, no family, and very few belongings. Many people in his situation gave up or felt hopeless. But Viktor had something that helped him: his belief in meaning. Even though he had suffered greatly, he felt that he had a reason to keep living. He wanted to share what he had learned with the world. Soon after the war, Viktor began writing his most famous book, Man's Search for Meaning. In the book, he talked about his life in the camps and what helped him survive. He wrote in a simple and honest way. He said that even in terrible suffering, life can still have meaning. The book became very popular and has been translated into over 20 languages. Millions of people around the world have read it. Viktor also returned to his work as a doctor and psychiatrist. He continued to teach logotherapy, the idea that people need meaning in their lives to be truly healthy and happy. He said that people don't just want pleasure or money. They want a reason to live. This could be love, family, work, helping others, or even facing suffering with courage. In the years after the war, Viktor gave lectures all over the world. He spoke to doctors, students, and everyday people. He helped many understand that pain and loss do not have to destroy a person. He said, "Those who have a why to live can bear almost any how." That became one of his most famous quotes. Viktor remarried and had a daughter. He wrote many more books and received many awards for his work. He lived a long life and continued teaching and writing until he died in 1997 at the age of 92. Today, Viktor Frankl is remembered as one of the most important thinkers of the 20th century. His ideas continue to inspire people, especially those going through hard times. His life is a strong example of hope, courage, and the power of meaning. He showed the world that even in the darkest places, we can find light. And even in great suffering, we can find purpose. Thank you for watching Viktor Frankl's powerful life story. We hope it gave you hope and inspiration to face life with strength and meaning. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you don't miss our next inspiring story. See you in the next video.